Intra-Afghan negotiations began in Doha, Qatar on Saturday, September 12th, with the government of Afghanistan and the loyal opposition, let's call them the Republican side, sitting across from the insurgents, the Taliban, for the first time in this phase of Afghanistan's long civil war. This is important because up until this moment, the Taliban have refused to negotiate with the government of Afghanistan, preferring to present themselves as being at war with the United States and not with their fellow Afghans. The United States and the Taliban had a multi-year negotiation process to try to begin to sort out the security questions between us. As a result of that negotiations process, the United States committed to withdrawing military forces from Afghanistan by early 2021, and the Taliban made two key commitments to the United States. One was not to allow the territory they control to be used by internationally focused terrorist groups, and the second was to begin these negotiations with other Afghans that might lead to a peace deal, therefore reducing the instability that's been so dangerous for Afghanistan, the region, and really the entire international community. These talks were supposed to begin all the way back in March, but their initiation was slowed because there were some loose ends left over from the US-Taliban negotiations. In particular, the US had committed to getting the government of Afghanistan to release up to 5,000 Taliban prisoners, but hadn't really communicated this to the government of Afghanistan and hadn't reached real clarity with the Taliban about exactly what the expectations would be. It's taken 7 months to work through that, but it finally has, and now with the prisoners released, the government and the loyal opposition are finally sitting down with the Taliban. So what happens next? Well, probably not much, or at least probably not soon. It's one thing to negotiate between the Taliban and the United States. Both sides have established for many years exactly what they wanted to achieve out of those negotiations, and the kinds of concessions that internally they would be willing to make. It's my impression that neither the government of Afghanistan side nor the Taliban side have devoted the same degree of thought to the question of intra-Afghan negotiations. They all spoke movingly, emotionally, about the need for peace to emerge from this process. But what exactly that means, what it means for the governance structure of Afghanistan, what it means for Afghan human rights, well, that all remains to be seen. And probably it will require a lengthy period of negotiation just to figure out what the questions are, after which the Taliban and the government of Afghanistan forces will need to go back to their respective sides to figure out what are the priorities and what are they able to concede in order to achieve them. So this isn't likely to result in peace anytime soon, but it could be the beginning of the end of a war that has cost Afghans an almost incalculable amount and has cost the world a degree of insecurity that was exemplified on September 11th.